So let's have a look at web page access. Okay, so if we look at this, we can actually try and make some sense of what's going on here. So there's obviously a web server here at 75.132. So the first thing that happens is that our node here, or the node that's going to access the web server, identifies itself with an ARP, and it says what its MAC address is, and then this becomes a broadcast, and it's asking for the MAC address at this address here. Because it's on the same network, then, or the same subnetwork, it will ARP onto the local network. The host then replies back and tells the sending node what its MAC address is, and it sends it only back to the node which asked for the IP address. After this, the host at 75.1 sends a SYN. It decides it's going to use this TCP port to port 80, and it tells the other side that that's its sequence number, and it doesn't have anything to acknowledge yet. The server responds back with a SYNACK, okay, on port 80, and sends it back on this port here. And we see here that it acknowledges that it received the last TCP segment, and it tells the other side what it expects to see next. So in this case, that's what it expects to see next. So the acknowledgement number should almost tie up with the sequence number of the next data segment. Then we receive back an ACK from the client back to the server to acknowledge it. After that, we can then get data transmitted. If we want to have a look at this in detail, then we can open up the PCAP file and examine it in Wireshark. Okay, so here we have the ARP request. So in this case it's an opcode of 1, there it's 0001, which gives us a request, and it's asking for the MAC address of this IP address, and we can see it's using a broadcast onto the network. So the node at 75.132 responds back and tells the other side what its MAC address is, and we see that we have a reply opcode of 2 in this case. And there is our SYN. We see we have a SYN here set. There's all the other flags, and we're using 2427, and there it's down here. It's defining a window size of 8192. Next thing, there's the SYNACK coming back from the server from port 80, sending it back to here, and we should be able to see the acknowledgement number and the sequence number. There we go. So it's acknowledging it wants to see sequence number 1 next, and then at the end we see the ACK. After that we see high level messages getting sent back and forward using HTTP. So the first one that's sent is get /, which gets the top level web page. And then what we'll see is the reply coming back in a number of segments, which you see here they're full segments of 1514, which is the maximum size of the Ethernet frame. And these come back, and we see here this is the client acknowledging that it received the data segments, and it's looking for sequence number acknowledgement, sequence number 410 on its side, and we should be able to see an acknowledgement number 2897. Okay, so there we go. 2897 is the next thing that we just check that the server will send back to the client. Okay, so there's there's some of the page, and it also needs to get the CSS file, so it sends that too.